Did you think that it would be this good so quickly?
No, not really. I didn't know what to expect. I had obviously a great amateur career, so obviously there were a lot of expectations coming along with it. But I tried to kind of block them all out and just concentrate on the professional life because that's a totally different thing. But last year was a pretty awesome year, and it's hard to back up such a good year like that.
Are you based in the States full time now?
Yes, I'm based in Orlando.
Shall we have questions from the floor, please? The microphone.
Lydia, what do your friends think about you being world number one?
A lot of my school friends aren't golfers. Some of them are other athletes, or they're going to university this year. So, the cool thing about that is that they don't know much about it. So they kind of treat me as if I'm just another school teenager, which is the best part. My best friend, she has never really played a proper game of golf, and the first time she hit a golf ball was at a driving range that I took her to. So in that way, they don't treat me that differently, and I like it because then, off the course, I've got this balance of, just being able to hang around, have some fun.
Has life changed at all since you became world number one? Did you treat yourself in any way?
Not really. I've only been world number one the last two weeks, so no, nothing really has changed. I try to keep to the same mindset playing in the Bahamas, and I finished with a top 10 finish, so that was really good. And yeah, I just gotta take every tournament and just concentrate on that because the rankings come afterwards.
Is there anyone? I mean, where do you, like Caddie said, where do you go from here? Who do you look up to now that you're on the top?
I've still got, my same role models that I grew up, Phil Mickelson, Annika, Michelle, and there are so many great players. Stacey Lewis is, one of the players I looked up to, and she said, so many nice things. In the Bahamas, after a 10 pro, she gave me a little advice. So, it was really cool for, somebody of her status to kind of tell me that, just concentrate on your game and just, focus on what's out there.
You've spoken previously about not being too hard on yourself this year in terms of replicating the same kind of success, but as a competitor that's got to be very difficult, doesn't it? You're going to come up to each tournament and go, oh, I want to do the same again, or I want to do even better.
Yeah, especially the tournaments that I won on. I haven't played those 3 yet, but no, definitely that week I'll know that because I've won there before, I've got a good chance, and again the expectation comes. But yeah, I just have to take each tournament at a time, and everybody's playing such great golf. It's not only about me, so yeah, just have fun, and when I have fun, that's when I play the best. So I just got to keep to that mindset and really focus on that.
Have you noticed the pressure change? You said it's only been a couple of weeks, but have you noticed the way things are being talked about?
More media attention, more like congratulations on social media too. So all that kind of is the bigger part. But other than that, when we're out here, we're all players at the end of the day. So, we're all just talking to each other, and because we're not going, oh, you're world number one and you're world number two like that. So, it's kind of different. I think when we're players, we're just talking, just gossiping amongst each other.
Is Royal Melbourne suitable to your game and this style of golf course?
I guess playing amateur golf over here in Australia, on these sandbelt courses, I guess I kind of know a little bit about it, but the course, I guess, has changed a little bit. 15 yards short of the green, the grass is a lot tighter, kind of as if it's a links type. So hopefully it suits my game, but I had lots of fun playing here in 2012. So it's going to be tough. So I really need to stay patient.
And with your game, what do you need to do to get better? How do you get better?
I think there's a lot of things that I need to get better. I normally the thing that I say is probably the best part of my game is my iron shot. Then I looked at my stats from last year, and I thought that I could increase in greens and regulations. So that's what we kind of worked on in the off season with David and Sean, and always putting. like in Ocala, I didn't hit the ball great, but with my putting, I was able to give myself those birdie opportunities and hole a couple that I didn't expect.
Lydia, at 17, what else are you doing with your life?
Well, I'm gonna start university in March this year, so that's a whole new thing. I'm gonna study psychology, so that's gonna be exciting. Other than that, not really much. Yeah.
So how much time does golf take up in your life?
I mean, quite a lot. Sometimes just people see it as a 4.5, 5 hour round, but we've got an hour and a half practice before that. Maybe an hour afterwards. You see the osteo, so it takes a lot of your day. So there's not much else to do. But every player has a different, I guess, plan on game plan. So some players might have more time off. Some a little less.
Do you attach any importance to becoming rich and famous, or is it just about being as good as you can at golf?
I think just having fun is probably my biggest goal. When you have fun, everything it kind of goes by fast. And going fast is not a bad thing when you're playing 25, 26 tournaments. But yeah, to me, my top goal and probably every season is to have fun and enjoy. Because I've had points where I've stressed out and just my self-expectation has kind of gone on top, so I try to just block it all out. And I mean, when I'm having fun, that's when I play the best, so I guess it all kind of matches each other up.
Is money important to you?
Money, I mean, professional life, you can't take away the money, but money is not the most important thing for me.
Is it too early in your career now, Lydia, to sort of be focusing on the majors? Are you just enjoying every tournament and every week?
I guess majors is what we try and work up towards to. And last year I had 2 top 10s in a major. The year before I had 1 top 10. So I'm improving. And to me, goal for my majors is more consistency rather than I want a major win.
Yeah.
I think if I get more consistent in playing the majors, then I know that I'll be able to one day give myself that opportunity to be around the lead.
Sorry, Lydia. Just want to know the focus is on this week, but you're going to New Zealand as your next tournament. How important is it for you to go back there, bearing in mind you had a decision to make with Thailand?
It's going to be good to go back. I've played well at Clearwater, second last year, first the year before. So it's a course I played well on, so I'm very excited for that. There were a lot of spectators last year, golfers, just people around locally. So I think it's going to be a great week. I'm excited, but the course setup is totally different to this week. So right now I'm just concentrating on the game plan here, my technique that I need to use here, and then kind of switch the button and then go straight to New Zealand Open mode, which is going to be windy, and I'm sure it'll get windy here too, but it's definitely a little different. So for now I'm just concentrating on the Australian Open.
Lydia, sorry to go back to number 1. I know you're going to get asked these questions a lot, but Tiger's got there at age 21. Have you stopped to think about the phenomenon that he was? And you've done it 4 years earlier. Have you actually thought about that?
Yeah, a lot of people told me that. I didn't really know what the record age was and all that, but when media says, that's when I kind of know. But yeah, I mean, it's amazing, what he's done for the game, how much he's grown the game, not only for the men's side but for the women's. It's pretty amazing, and to have kind of bit a record of somebody of his status is amazing. And it's hopefully I'll have my name there for a little while.
You've always had a lot of support in Australia, and it's your third home, I guess, fourth home maybe, I don't know, but do you feel that extra pressure or expectation when you come back home?
I wouldn't say it's extra pressure. It's great to come back here, because I mean, New Zealand, Australia, we always give a little bit of crap to each other, but we're always brother sisterly countries. So even though we may say these jokes, but at the end of the day we're so alike. So it's great to obviously I can't play in New Zealand that often. It's maybe once a year or even less. So to come here in Australia and play is pretty awesome. And I mean the spectators here I know is going to be great. So should be a fun week.
Lydia, I just noticed when you put your hand up, then you've got some strapping on your thumb.
Yeah,
Is that just a rehab thing, or is it something that?
It's kind of a minor thing. I put too much pressure on my left thumb, with my right one, because when you put it straight on top, so I put too much pressure on it, so it's kind of hyperextended. So that's why this strap is kind of helping me to stay in a better position. Yeah.
Will you actually go to any classes with college?
I'm not really sure. We're going to try and do the best, do a lot of online work, and I've got some big textbooks that I need to read too. So, yeah, we'll always find a way of trying to do it. And, just psychology itself, it's something I've always been interested in. And, I mean, there's hundreds of topics in psychology, but, I knew that it's something I could connect with, in golf and in sports. So that's what kind of took my attention, but it's going to be tough to juggle both things at a time.
I think last year we were talking that you wanted to get your driver's license. How's that
I still
going?
haven't done that. Yeah, most driving I've done is with a golf cart. No, yeah, I haven't done. I need to go to a driving school and do it, I think, but I'll probably do it in the States because that's where I'm based and probably easier doing it there. But yeah, hopefully I'll get it, but I'll warn you guys if I'm on the road.
Forgive me, I know you're going to get asked this a lot, but psychology, surely you're hoping to gain some form of psychological edge out there, but you could almost use some tactics, couldn't you, to sort of eye off opponents or anything like that?
Yeah, maybe. Like I said before, there are so many varieties of psychology. There's the biology part, there's treatment, and just so many things that I didn't even realize there were. But there are these small little things that I didn't know was in the criteria of psychology. But I'm sure when I go to sports psychology or treatment, then maybe that's the part that that will help me. But testing rats or whatever, I'm sure that's not going to help me. But yeah, I think it's going to be fun. Yeah, just itself, and it kind of makes me I like to watch Criminal Minds and that kind of stuff. So maybe it'll help me figure out what they're thinking or what I'm thinking. Yeah.
Are you still travelling with your mum? Is she still travelling with you?
Yes, my mom is travelling with me. She's my travel companion. Yeah.
Great. She'll probably get you at the schoolwork.
Yeah, she'll get me off my iPad, off my phone, and tell me to work hard, look at the textbooks. Yeah.
Any more questions, ladies and gentlemen?
Sorry, Lydia, how long is the course that you're doing? Is it out of Seoul? Is it the university?
Yeah, it's Korea University, and it's a couple years, but obviously because I'm playing so much golf, I might not be able to get it done in that same period that everybody else can do it. But as long as I feel like yes, I've learned something and I can get my degree. I think that's the most important part, rather than that 3-year period where I feel like I really need to do it then. Yeah.
I just also ask you what your caddies brought to your game and how that relationship's going. 'Cause
it's been, I think, 8-9 weeks since I've worked with him. So yeah, I mean, it's been good. He's local, he's from Melbourne. So yeah, it's been fun. I had 8 caddies last year, so and it was kind of a good experience for me. So I could kind of see what kind of caddy would suit me. Do I like this kind of personality, or is the skill what I need? So I tried to find a balance, and it's been working well the last couple of weeks. So yeah, we'll see how it goes.
Is study important to your family? I see your sister's
Study isn't like the top priority in our family, but I mean, my sister did finish her degree and her master's in architecture, but she doesn't do any architecture jobs right now. But yeah, I mean, I think you just never know what's going to happen. And no, I always say my plan is to retire when I'm 30, so you know, I'm not going to just go to the beach and just hang out for the rest of my life after that. So, yeah, I just want to, there's always kind of a second career, I think, that comes along with it. So I'm trying to build up towards it. And because I'm playing a sport, I know psychology can link it up well together. So you just never know what's going to happen later.
Oh, you just mentioned your caddy and what style of caddy you want. What style of caddy do you like? Like, do you like him to help you read greens? Do you want him just to carry the bag and give you the club? Or what level of influence do you like with that caddy? And also his name a bit.
My caddy, I like to get him involved a lot. I do aim point with my putting, but also separately I ask him for his opinion on reading the green. He gets my yardages, he helps me with the club selections, he lines me up, so there's not a lot he doesn't do. But yeah, other than that, personality-wise, I like, obviously you can get mad when you make a silly mistake, but I like Jason, how he makes some dumb jokes or some, I guess, sarcastic, sentences, and it kind of makes me go like, what the hell is he talking about? But it kind of makes me get over what just happened. So in a way, bad jokes is kind of my criteria.
So he needs to improve his comedy routine?
Yeah, he would really not have a good career in being a comedian.